Hi, I'm Drake. Welcome back to Career History Matters, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about my fall 2023 internship at the New York City Trans-Oral History Project. This video is actually an adaptation of my final paper for my Women and Gender Studies internship. I completed it for my Sexuality and Queer Studies minor at NJCU, or New Jersey City University. This course was taught by my mentor, Dr. Jennifer Musial, who uses she/her pronouns. I met her when I was a student in her class, LGBT Social Change, during the fall 2021 semester. And since then, we collaborated on numerous projects, including 3 different conference presentations. 2 of them are actually available on YouTube, which will be linked in the description below. She's actually the co-PI for the Digital Ethnic Futures Consortium, or DEFCon grant at NJCU, and we collaborated closely on this grant for 15 months. During this time, I worked as a student researcher during college and a researcher during my first semester post-grad. I also had the amazing opportunity to speak during Jennifer's class, LGBT Social Change, during my final semester, which was around the time I wrote this paper, about my experiences in her class and what I had learned from my experience in sharing queer stories. Due to her hard work and dedication, myself and a few other graduating seniors were able to complete internships during our final semesters, which is an opportunity I'm incredibly grateful for. Hold on 1 second, my boyfriend is back with pizza. Would you like to be in the video briefly, honey?
Hello, I made pizza.
I will go back to recording later. Hope you guys have a great day. Hi, welcome back. River's in the background now. Say hi, River.
Hello.
They're just gonna be doing their own thing while I record, so just, they're back there. So for my internship, I chose to work with the NYC Trans-Oral History Project, which is a community archive devoted to the collection, preservation, and sharing of trans histories, organized in the collaboration with the New York Public Library. As someone who intends on going to the field of LGBT oral history, this internship was an amazing opportunity for me, as it allowed me to work hands-on with trans oral history. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I want to specifically thank Jennifer, as well as Aviva Silverman, who uses they, them pronouns. They were my supervisor at the NYC Trans-Oral History Project, and I actually found out this project through Jennifer. I was on a Zoom call meeting with her for other stuff involving a DEFCon project, which is why I mentioned it earlier. And she was actually the one who told me about the NYC Trans-Oral History Project. As soon as I hopped off the Zoom call, I went to the project's website, and there's a couple different tabs on the website. It's really well organized. I recommend checking it out. I'm going to link it in the description. But I clicked the contact, and there's an email that was listed, and the person who responded to my original email was Aviva, and they got back to me almost instantly. And I had in my initial inquiry, I asked about possibly doing a paid internship experience, but they told me they only had volunteer and non-paid internship opportunities, which they would both be happy to offer me either position. And I began speaking to Jennifer about creating an internship course together that would allow me to work with the Trans Oral History Project as well, and use that experience towards getting my degree for my queer and sexuality studies minor. Through my internship at the NYC Trans-Oral History Project, I was able to improve upon previous skill sets, including Google Drive, networking, sales, communication, writing, and time management. I had set my own schedule during the semester, and I was also working 2 other jobs to make ends meet, so I could afford to do the unpaid internship. Unfortunately, as the NYC Trans-Oral History Project does not have paid employees and is completely volunteer run, my internship was unpaid, and because I was working so often with my other jobs, I was unable to prioritize my internship as much as I really would have liked to. If I was in a better place financially, or if I had a paid internship, I would have had a much different experience during my placement. So I want to mention that this placement might have been better if I was in a bit of a better financial state and I had prepared a little bit more for it. If someone is interested in volunteering for them, if they have the extra time, I highly recommend it. And if they have the finances to do an unpaid internship, I highly recommend it. But for me personally, I should have saved up more or gotten a credit card sooner, and that is something I wanted to mention. Well, actually, it's a little side tangent. I applied for a credit card. Um, I changed my name a couple months before I turned 18, but because I applied during maybe a week or two before COVID hit, um I didn't get my name legally changed until after I was 18. So I had applied for a credit card with Discover, and they wouldn't let me upload my social security card with my dead name on it, even though that's the social security card I had at the time. I didn't have anything else. Like I didn't have the one that says Patrick on it. So I wasn't able to get a login to that account. I wasn't able to activate my card, and they actually closed my account, which tanked my fucking credit score so bad, dude. So I highly recommend not applying for a credit card until after legally changing your name if that is something you plan on doing around the same time, like around like in my situation. Um, the reason I had waited so long is because I didn't want to come out at my first job, and I wanted to wait till I had a job where I was out at. I didn't feel like the environment I was in was very trans friendly, but I highly recommend if you have supportive parents and you're able to, please change your name as early as possible just to make your life easier when you're an adult. That's just my own personal experience as someone who grew up as a trans kid in New Jersey. But I just wanted to offer my little bit of advice. Okay, back to my script. I just wanted to add that in there because it's important. But now I have a Capital One bank account with my own name, and I'm doing a lot better financially. And I am still struggling a lot financially, but I am doing a lot better than I was um, when it was mid quarantine and I couldn't work. So, yeah, thank you for listening to my little tangent. Back to the video. I had my federal work study job at the Root Cyber Women's Center for Equity and Diversity at NJCU. I was a student staff member for 2 years. I went from an unpaid intern during my first internship to a volunteer during my second semester, and then a paid employee through federal work study my last year or so of college. I was offered a work study position after my internship, but because my parents made too much money in 2021, I didn't qualify for work study until I filed the 2022 FAFSA, which allowed me to start work study during the spring 2023 semester. I really loved my time and experience at the Women's Center. I would love to work for them again if I was ever given the opportunity, and it was probably my favorite job I've ever had, and love to talk about that more in a future video. But I just wanted to mention that also during my first unpaid internship with the Cypher Rubin Women's Center for Equity and Diversity, I my grandmother was still supporting me financially. My Grammy Dorothy, passed away, and she passed away Christmas of 2020. What was that, 2022, dude? She died on Christmas 2022, so she did financially support me almost completely during my original unpaid internship, and that's why I had to work two additional jobs during my second unpaid internship because, um, like, my parents made enough money to like not qualify for work study, but when they were making enough for me to qualify for work study, I was trying to rely on them financially, which I really can't. So yeah, shout out to Granny for paying for me to like travel, food, all that stuff I needed for my first unpaid internship. Taking an unpaid internship is a huge privilege, and I really wanted to recognize that. I want to recognize how hard it was the second one compared to the first one. So that is another thing I wanted to mention in terms of if you are interested in taking an unpaid internship, um, just keep that in mind that I did have a lot of financial support during my first one and my second one. Um, I did have a roommate with a car as well who would help me get back and forth to school and stuff. So I did have a lot of privilege in that regard, and I wanted to acknowledge that. I was also working as a student researcher for the DEFCon grant at NJC. This was my second job. This was about 15 hours a week, and my internship was roughly 10 hours a week or 150 hours spread over the course of the semester, and I had to pick the hours and set my own schedule. So between the internship and my DEFCon project, I worked remotely about 25 hours a week whenever it was most convenient for me. This was typically Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays. Um, and my girlfriend works Monday through Thursday, so that really worked out so I could hang out with her whenever she was free. I'm so fucking tired, River.
You should probably get ready for work soon, dog.
No, I get ready at 2.
When do you have to leave?
I'm aiming for the 2:51 train.
Oh, I thought you said 1:50.
No, 2:51.
Oh, okay. I have therapy starting at 2:30, just like.
I will probably leave whenever you go ready for therapy then.
Just like,
Week. And due to this busy schedule, I was unable to make my internship at the NYC Trans-Oral History Project as much of a priority as I wish I could have. But I still did the best I could to improve the archive and get the most out of I could out of my internship. I wish I was able to make my internship more of a priority, and even though I was unable to make it as much as a priority as I wish I could have, I still did the best I could to improve the archive and to get the most I could out of my internship. I still had a great time. I still learned a lot. I wish I was able to dedicate more time and effort and energy to this project because it is a really cool experience already. But it is a huge privilege to take an unpaid internship. And I understand that a lot of people are unable to access the skills and learning and mentorship and resources that an unpaid internship can offer. And I just wanted to, take a moment to recognize that privilege that comes with that experience. The most rewarding project at my entire internship was the event Making Space at the Armory on October 14th at the Park Avenue Armory in Manhattan. For this event, I worked at our table and I sold our zines and informed other people at the conference about the NYC Trans Oral History Project. We had given away free we were giving away free postcards that were talking about the project and sold the zines for $5 to $25 on a sliding scale. We also had like a couple stickers and stuff and some information about other projects we work with. Hey, so editing trick here. I just realized I had some cool props that would be cool for this video. I just realized I had some things that would be cool to show as visuals for this video. I have some of the stuff that are from the event. So I got this sticker. As you can see, I'll do the influencer thing. And when you put it on, it's like see-through. And I have one on like my little craft card from Michael's in the back. So I have this is the postcard we were giving out. And just has some information about it on the back and the code if you want to learn more. So feel free to scan that. And yeah, um, hope you all enjoyed the video. The event included many different projects, art exhibitions, and guest speakers. And since I was tabling, I didn't have a ton of time to spend at the talks, but I did attend one talk that was especially informative. I had the amazing opportunity to see Aviva Silverman, my supervisor for this project, interview Eli Eric and Kate Bornstein on a panel about gender across time and space, which was really interesting. I also learned of a very interesting project called T for Tapes, a Brooklyn-based cassette compilation company run by and for trans people in the Armory's media room. The event also had a movie screening room with various queer films and documentaries. During this event, I spoke to two lovely trans elders who decided to sign up for the project, and I spent roughly half an hour speaking with them. In the end, they both decided to possibly reach out to us and took one of the postcards. I learned so much about their lives, transitions, families, and I'm really grateful for every experience I've had with a trans elder. But I remember these two trans women specifically, and they were very sweet. I really liked them a lot. In the participant green room, I heard many of the guest speakers sharing bits and pieces of their stories in a much more intimate environment than the actual talks, which was really sweet. Overall, it was a very wonderful experience that I'm grateful to have had, and I would love to go to a similar event. Another thing I wanted to mention are some of the pros and cons of working remotely, as my project was almost completely, as my internship was almost completely remote besides this event. As someone who has multiple disabilities, being able to work from home is an accessibility tool that can help me still work while experiencing symptoms. I still think it would be awesome to have a hybrid job like when I worked at the Women's Center, like I would go in whenever I was scheduled, but if I wasn't feeling good, I would let my supervisor know and they would assign me something else to work on while I stayed home and rested. I do well with routine, and it's hard for me to stick to a routine when it's a routine I personally set. Additionally, it's hard for me to set a work-life balance when you work from home. I recommend setting a set time to check work emails. I usually do it twice a day as soon as I wake up or right before bed when working on a project, and every 3 days when I'm job hunting, because that's how long it takes indeed to refresh. I'm still working on figuring out how LinkedIn works. I also think that remote learning during COVID, beginning my internship at the Women's Center online and working remotely as a researcher for DEFCon definitely helped me prepare for working remotely for the Trans Oral History Project. I still think I'm learning my boundaries and preferences in terms of work mode and environment. But I like working remotely because it helps me be in less physical pain. I can take breaks easier if I have a panic attack or an anxiety episode. However, working remotely did lead to some miscommunication errors between myself and my colleagues. I actually only met Aviva once on the phone and once in person, and I wish I had more time at the placement to get to know my colleagues better, and I really wish I had better utilized my time there to make more connections in my field. This was another downside of working mostly remotely. It makes it really hard to build meaningful connection with colleagues, and it also is hard to find mentors that way. As a recent graduate, I feel very lost, and it's very nice to have mentors looking out for me. I wish I'd been able to build up a better mentorship type relationship with Aviva. Aviva has a very interesting career, and they make really incredible art. I was very happy being able to see some of their art at the Park Avenue Armory during our event together. I was able to see their art as well as several other queer artists without having to pay for the exhibit, which is an opportunity I'm incredibly grateful to have had. At the event, Aviva had a stunning art exhibit featuring headphones playing audio clips of various Jewish trans people from the archive sharing their stories. I hope that I can continue building these types of networking relationships and to find a way to be more comfortable finding community and talking to others. Since leaving NJCU, I've really struggled to make new friends, but recently I checked out an event at Hudson Pride Center and it was a lot of fun, so I recommend checking it out if you're in the area. Yeah. I think that for future projects, I would prefer a bit more supervision throughout the course of my internship to ensure I'm on the right track and doing assignments correctly. I spoke to my site supervisors roughly once or twice a week via email. A significant amount of our communication was through the semi regular updates that I sent them whenever I had made significant progress on one of my assignments. Sometimes Aviva and I misunderstood each other because of our mode of communication. I think that it led to several issues regarding my time management. There were several points in the semester where I was waiting for assignments or that I was often not giving deadlines until a few days before. I think that future students would benefit from more regular meetings as well as set deadlines far in advance. While working with the BGHRA, I've worked very closely with Jennifer as well as Dr. Sonia Donaldson and Dr. Rosemary Pena for the first few weeks, so I got the hang of writing summaries, which provided me with a solid foundation for me to build upon. And I recommend something similar to that for a similar project like that. Future students who accept a placement at the NYC Transworld History Project might benefit from creating a set tag in their email for the communication with the placement, as I found that sometimes responses from my supervisors would get lost in my inbox with other emails, especially towards the end of the semester, as I have been job hunting for post grad. Therefore, I created a tag on my Gmail account to keep all the communications with my colleagues through the Trans Oral History Project. Um, Another piece of advice I would offer is taking your internships earlier in your college career, as well, I wouldn't have had as much issues with my inbox getting cluttered if I wasn't, job hunting for a post grad job. So maybe don't do it your last semester. But no, seriously, shout out to Jennifer for letting me do it last semester. But like, don't do an internship in your last semester of college if you can help it. Don't do it. Um, anyway, like I previously mentioned, I try to check my email twice a day while working remotely, but if that's too often for you, I'd recommend setting aside 15 to 30 minutes a day just to check emails once a day to ensure that you don't miss any more important updates. Additionally, I think it's important to be patient and understanding for those in charge of the project, as there are very few people who work with the NYC Transworld History Project, and most are unpaid interns, volunteers, and people with other jobs. Therefore, I recommend future students spread out their hours a little bit more over the course of the week, as important messages can come through at any time. I hope that these tips help some future students out who may intern there. For me, like since I did it Monday through or Friday through Monday, that's like all on one half of the week, and then if something came out on Wednesday, I wouldn't see it till Friday. So maybe if I was gonna do it again, I would do like Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, or something like that. That might be a good idea. So yeah, I hope these tips helped. If they don't, I'm sorry, but that's what works for me. Over the course of my internships, I worked on a variety of different projects. Over the course of the semester, I organized our files on Dropbox, set up our MailChimp account, organized our t-shirt shipping forms into a spreadsheet, selected audio and written quotes from the archive to post on our Instagram account, updated our Symbolcast account, created a new spreadsheet with all the names of narrators who have interviews posted on the IC Transworld History Project website, found out which narrators need summaries and transcripts, and wrote summaries for some of the narrators that still need them. The skills I developed throughout my internship have been extremely helpful in my building my own career and transforming this YouTube channel into a full online archive. I hope to utilize the skills I've learned to build my own website similar to the Transoral History Project's website that is easy to use on both mobile and desktop, is user-friendly and accessible, and is set up in a way where users can search their interviews. I want to make a set place for transcriptions, summaries, and narrators' names and pronouns. My internship also strengthened my writing and research skills, which have been invaluable to my work with the Black German Heritage Research Association through DEFCon. I also enjoyed writing summaries for the website. I think that is the skill I have enjoyed building the most. Overall, I had a wonderful experience interning at the NYC Translational History Project, and I believe that I was adequately prepared for the internship for my previous work at the Women's Center and my previous coursework at the Women Gender Studies Department at NJCU. I really enjoyed the work I did, and I felt like my work was actually making a difference. And I learned so much about the kind of work and the amount of work and volunteers that it takes to run an archive, especially a small community-based archive like this project. In the future, I hope that if NJCU does more placements with the NYC Translational History Project, that the school will find a better way to offer options for travel stipends for this. A majority of my internship was remote, but I did work one in-person event that I had to travel into New York City for, and I was incredibly privileged that my parents helped cover me for the cost of travel. But I wish I did not have to pay almost $30 in travel expenses for a work event to work an event in the city for free. To better prepare future students for internships at the same placement, especially other transgender students, I would recommend that they understand that this type of work can be triggering. There have been several times over my placement where I had avoided working on my internship work because of the triggering nature of the content I was dealing with, and I've heard stories of other trans people being abused, kicked out of their homes, living in the streets, and experiencing things like employment discrimination, racism, and police brutality. Although the work can be triggering, it is important and necessary to tell the stories of the transgender community, and this is the unfortunate reality that many of us face. That's about all I got for this video, so I might elaborate more on these ideas in a future video. Just let me know if you want to see that. I hope you all have a great day, and remember, you are loved, you matter, and the world is a better place because you're in it. Until the next one, I'm Drake. I'll see y'all later.